Naughty Dog boss Neil Druckmann has cast doubt on the possibility of a third Last of Us game, telling fans don't bet on there being more. Fans have been dreaming of a potential third entry in the series ever since the release of Last of Us 2 or Part 2 in 2020. And while Naughty Dog and Sony have managed to remaster both the original Last of Us for a second time, and then Last of Us 2, since then there's been no concrete word of a third series installment. Which isn't to say Naughty Dog has been entirely quiet on the matter. Back in 2021, Druckmann confirmed he had penned a story outline for a potential third Last of Us, and admitted there had been quite a bit of discussion about a sequel. He addressed a possible third series entry in 2023, while Naughty Dog's now canned The Last of Us multiplayer game was still in the works, saying he was open to it but only if the team could come up with a compelling story. Druckmann returned to the subject of The Last of Us Part 3 again last year, explaining that while he had struggled to come up with a worthwhile concept for the game previously, recently that's changed. And just to hammer home the point, he added, so it does feel like there's probably one more chapter to the story. All of which is to say that Druckmann's left enough of a breadcrumb trail the last few years that The Last of Us Part 3 feels like it might be closer to happen than not. And even though Naughty Dog is currently full steam ahead on a single player sci-fi game Intergalactic, the studio's previous confirmation it had multiple single player projects in the works still left room for hope. In a new interview with Variety, however, Druckmann has cast doubt on a possible Last of Us Part 3. When asked about a potential third game, he replied, I guess the only thing I would say is don't bet on there being more of The Last of Us. This could be it. It's unclear why Druckmann is suddenly less keen to fan the flames of speculation where a third Last of Us title is concerned. But even if another game never happens, there's still new The Last of Us material on the way. HBO's critically acclaimed TV show returns for a second season soon, and it will begin adapting the events of the second game. However, Druckmann and showrunner Craig Mason previously confirmed that the series will likely take likely to 2 or 3 seasons to cover all of The Last of Us Part 2, and it's already clear that plenty of new material will be in there. Recent Season 2 casting news, for instance, has suggested the show will be more explicitly tackling events only mentioned passing during the second game. And of course, even if Naughty Dog never gets around to making The Last of Us Part 3, Druckmann's story treatment for post Part 2 could eventually make it to the small screen. The Last of Us Season 2 runs for 7 episodes starting the 13th of April in the US, and as for Naughty Dog's Intergalactic, there's no hint of release date for that yet. So me personally, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I like the fact that we could possibly get a Last of Us Part 3, but instead of a video game, we'll get it included in the TV series. That sort of thing, where like a project will get a sequel, but this time they'll get a sequel through like a comic book or an actual book itself, or maybe an audio book, or they'll get it through like a TV series or a movie, whatever it may be. But I do know that some people might not like the HBO series for whatever reason, and they might actually prefer that if Naughty Dog was to do a Last of Us Part 3, that it would be in the video game aspect of things. I can't give really solid opinions in terms of Neil Druckmann because I don't know how he thinks, I don't know how he works, but the fact that he's been back and forth on the idea of a Last of Us Part 3 over the years says to me that I think he's mostly just playing coy with the idea, and he's waiting to see what some of the fan reception may be to a potential third game before he actually does go all out on trying to make a Last of Us Part 3 or greenlighting a Last of Us Part 3 in terms of the video game series. After all, The Last of Us Part 2, even though it did really well in terms of sales, its storyline for the most part received mixed reviews in terms of certain story choices and character motivations and all that kind of stuff. I'm not sure how he responded to that, he being Neil Druckmann, But it's possible that the reaction to Last of Us Part 2, the mixed reaction for the most part, not everyone had a mixed reaction, but some people did within the gaming community, may impact The Last of Us Part 3, or maybe not, who knows. What you guys think of this? First of all, are you a fan of The Last of Us video games? Are you a fan of the HBO series? Would you like to see HBO conquer a Last of Us Part 3 but in TV series format? Or would you rather just see a Last of Us Part 3 video game? Depending on how long this series may actually go for, in terms of the HBO series, you might argue that we could get Part 3 of The Last of Us sooner than we would than it would be in a video game format, because obviously video games take a long time to develop and to get right and to make sure it looks absolutely perfect as you can get it for the most part. Yeah, Last of Us Part 3 in terms of the video game, in terms of a video game follow-up, or do you think if we do get it, it will likely be within HBO's TV format? Let me know your thoughts down below. Till next time, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye for now.